that's because I've been waiting for an eBay seller to basically resume his website, his selling site. So anyway, so the good news is I ordered the 1,000 magnets that I'm going to need for the generator for the new segments which I've got to build. So hopefully we'll get those by the end of the week. And I didn't print the segments yet, because the new segments for the rotor assembly, simply because I have to make sure that the new magnets are going to fit okay, and I don't want to start printing segments which end up with the holes too big or too small, you know what I mean. And the other good news is I'm working on the battery pack, and I've actually got them wired up temporarily in series, and I've been load testing them. You might know that. Well, if I stick the meter on, we have a voltage, a high voltage without a load on it of 27.3 volts. But obviously once you put a load on it, it drops down. So what I've been doing is load testing to see what happens when we actually put the uninterruptible power supply on these batteries. Now I haven't got the safety board connected yet, because that's coming later when I start to fit them in the box. And I've got all the sections for the box printed. Oops, I'm going to drop that. So these are where the batteries are going to go in. I've got them sorted together just to hold them together for now until I mount all the batteries in there. Now when I put this ups on, a bit of good news actually happens, because the uninterruptible power unit is so intelligent that if we try to take too much current out of the batteries, I was worried that the batteries would overheat and there was a risk of them catching fire, and I was thinking about putting fuses in them all, and then after doing some load testing, I don't have to worry about it, because as soon as the voltage drops below about 20 volts or about 19 volts, the uninterruptible power supply switches off and removes the load. So that's good news. So what I'll do is switch it on, because it's connected to the batteries right now. Right, it's a bit annoying because it beeps, so it's actually running on the batteries right now. And the voltage drops to 25.8 volts. That's well, all I've got running on it right now is this lead here, and it's running the security camera. That's all. Now I did a test running an electric fan on it. Oh, where have I put that now? I can't think where I put it. Oh, it's down here. So it can handle up to about it can handle quite well up to 90 watts or 60 watts or whatever, which is good enough, because I found out that my computer monitor runs at about 45 watts. That means, if I plug this fan in, that means that this UPS can run from these batteries, the monitor, which is something. Now let's plug this fan in. It might actually cut out because the batteries have run down a bit now, because I run them down. Let's just see if it will run this fan. There you go, fan's running up. Not running very fast, but let's look at the battery. The battery's dropped to 22.2 volts. So that fan, this electric fan, is rated at 35 watts, and it can run that, which means it can run the monitor, because the monitor is about the same. So that's good news. So, and the batteries don't even get warm, but these leads get a little bit warm, because that's about 2 amps on the load. So it's about 2 amps through these little wires. Now obviously the voltage is dropped significantly, but I've got a lot of thin wires, so it's running through these thin wires right now to the UPS, and obviously you're going to lose voltage and current. So this thing does shut off a little bit earlier than what it would normally do. So it's dropped to 22 volts still. It's running the fan. So yeah, every little bit of power that can be saved from the main ups, which is the big ups, which is my main one over here, every bit of power that I can avoid running that one down to run a monitor or something else on this one, and these batteries will last for many years compared to lead acid batteries, means that I can prolong the main ups running longer by using this to run, say, a monitor or peripheral devices such as, you know, these router. I can run the router, which is also handy, or other peripherals on the uninterruptible power supply. The fan's still running right now. It's not running very fast. It's not running at full speed. Let's put it on full speed, see what happens. And now it's on full speed. It's beeping faster now, look. And the voltage has dropped to 20 volts. And I've run them down quite a bit, so they're not fully charged right now. All the batteries are cold because I've been testing them, load testing them. But when we get down, when the load has been on for a while, I noticed that these wires are getting warm now. They're about same temperature as my hand, because they don't feel cold, they don't feel hot. So the wires, these little 1 amp wires, are carrying about 2 amps right now. So yeah, I am confident that this battery pack will run the ups, and it will run that fan, and it will run this other thing, and it'll run it for quite a long time actually, because the lights are green. Oh, don't run it right down though right now, so because I'm still doing balance testing as well. Turn this back down to low setting. So I'll unplug the fan. Right. So I'll turn that off. So what I'm doing is I'm loading it down, and then I'm going across these batteries and measuring the voltage across each section to see which batteries are running down faster. And then I can work out the weak links in the chain, because as the saying goes, the weakest link in the chain is the one which is where things break down. So obviously by finding out which is the weakest link, I can optimize the weak link to equalize the voltage across them. I have measured the voltage across these battery packs individually, and it tends to be about 0.3 volts difference. So it's not a great deal, or 0.1, depending on how much load I put on it. So I just thought I'd give you an update on that. So the point is, it can run the ups. That's the main thing. It's got back up to 25 volts now without that load on it. I'll have to do something about that bloody beeping noise, because it's annoying. The beep only happens though when it's running on battery, so yeah. I'll turn it off, because right, I've turned that off. So the voltage goes back up now. We can see what the voltage is resettling at now. About 27 volts. It's gone back up to 26.9, 27. So we can. I've been loading and testing, as I say. The batteries are all cold, which is good. I did exceed the load though at one point when yesterday when I was testing it. It was fully charged yesterday. I put it down a bit, and I actually put the fan on it. I also connected my oscilloscope, which is over here. I actually have my oscilloscope running on it as well, and this thing uses about 45 watts or something. I don't know if it's actually yeah, just I'm not going to move the camera because it'll flip upside down. I also run the oscilloscope. It can run that as well, so that's a good thing. Oh, I haven't been awake very long, so anyway, I've got the magnets ordered. So I've got to start the assembly of this battery packs, and as I say, I was worried about the thermal part of it, about them overheating, but obviously when they're in the boxes, heat will build up more. So what I'll probably do is put a thermal fuse in the middle of the pack that's right in the centre of the batteries, so that because that's where heat will concentrate more in the middle. And the idea I came up with was about mounting these thermal fuses was to basically make a sandwich with copper strips on each side, then solder the thermal fuse across the sandwich and lay the fuses inside the pack. Now, just to explain what I mean. So, right, imagine you've got a sandwich, right? You know what a sandwich is, right? And we have the contacts at the top that connect to the batteries, and then we have the terminals on the batteries themselves down at the bottom. Now I could do it at the top, I could do it at the bottom, but what I do is I make a sandwich which has got copper track on one side, then in the middle it's got an insulation layer like a piece of plastic, and then it got a copper strip on the other side. That would separate these batteries from the terminals on the actual battery mount. Then I could lay the thermal fuse across the battery, connect it to the copper strip on one side of the sandwich, then the other side connected to the copper strip on the other side of the sandwich, which completes the circuit in this battery box. And completing that circuit means I can keep the thermal fuse really close to the battery, and I don't have wires going everywhere, because the actual fuse is right next to the battery. Because I was trying to think of a way of doing it without having wires sticking out everywhere and going around to a fuse. The thermal fuse has got to be very close to the battery, otherwise it's not going to pick up the heat. So that's what I come up with, and that's what I'm going to do. So I'm just going to print some thin plastic strips with copper tape. You know, that copper tape I've been using, which is on the this one. Oops, I pulled the wire off. The copper tape is on the back there, so I'll make up some terminals that go on the sandwich, copper strip, and that will form my where's that wire? Oh, it's my oscilloscope. It's my meter lead that dropped off. I'll get you back on again, otherwise I can't measure the voltage. So it's gone back up to 27.1 volt. So there is a bit of a high impedance on here, but they're all equalised. When I was measuring them individually, I can't do it when I'm holding the phone. But when I had it under load yesterday, I was doing tests and I was measuring the voltage drop across each one of these battery packs, and they're all about the same, plus or minus 0.1 or 0.3 of a volt, which is not bad, you know. It's all within the ballpark area, and they'll never get hot enough. They'll never get too hot, because as soon as the voltage drops below about, was it 18 volts or something, the ups just shuts off. It's got built-in protection, so I don't have to worry about overloading it. Anyway, that's it for now. I'm just waiting for the magnets to arrive for that other thing, and as I said, this battery pack thing is a side project. It's not a big rush. I'm not rushing into it. I'm just I might as well turn that off now because it's settled. So I'm still waking up. Right, well, see you later. I'm going to go and catch up on news that's going on over here. I've been watching Mike Graham again. Yeah, I'm getting sick of all this crazy stuff that's going on. They're making a big thing out of a little thing. I don't know. Anyway, so we'll see you later. Oh, it's a lovely, gorgeous sunny day out there, by the way. Sun's shining. So I'm capitalising on a bit of solar power right now. My solar charger up there is currently charging up the solar battery from the supercapacitors are up there. We're getting about 1.94 amps at the moment. It's just dumping power out right now. It works great, by the way. I've had no trouble with it. It's been working great. Once it gets down to about 3 volts, it just shuts off, and then it starts to buffer up again. Starts to buffer charge itself again from the solar panels. Yeah, I thought I'd give you an update on that as well.